Hello, everybody. YouTube says that I'm live. Well, that's good to know that I'm live and I'm alive. And there's an active shooter in the neighborhood. Thank you so much, Mechanic, for sending me the link. I was just listening to the news about it. I'll wait for people to join in. Let me just write some stuff down here. Hello, everybody. This is Lorraine Alternative Homesteading on September 7, 2024. And we'll wait for you guys somebody to enter the chat before we get going. And hello, everybody. Thank you for joining in. I'm a few minutes late because evidently we have an active shooter here in Kentucky. Yes. And a subscriber sent me an email about it. I had been watching the news, the aerial view of the Kentucky State Police flying overhead with their helicopters looking for this guy. It's a massive manhunt underway for an active shooter. 5 people shot on I-75 in Kentucky, London, Kentucky, which is about 40 minutes or so from where I live. Evidently, the guy is on foot with his ammunition, and he is a military guy, so I guess he can be on foot and walk for a long time. So they have his name. They showed a photo of him, and I was listening to it on my other phone. So how's everybody doing this evening? And yes, for anybody that is interested, this active shooter is about 40 minutes from where I live, and there's a manhunt underway for this shooter. He decided he was just going to be, elevated, like on an incline, like a mountaintop, and just start shooting people on I-75 in Kentucky, on Saturday. Actually, it was later in the day, but it was still daylight. And 5 people were shot. Evidently, he was on the radar for, the FBI already. And he had been making, quote unquote, terror threats to his family. Hi, Paris. Welcome. Yes, we've got an active shooter here in Kentucky. I'm not surprised. I mean, you would think that there'd be more, given the fact that everybody owns one of these weapons and stuff. But anyway, we've got a massive manhunt underway for an active shooter. 5 people shot on I-75 in Kentucky, in London, Kentucky, which is about 35, 40 minutes from where I am. And evidently he's on foot and wandered off into the woods. Now, I don't know about anybody else, but the last few nights, it's been pretty cold here. Considering it, it reaches the 80s during the day, and then it's the 50s. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, so, they're telling people lock your door and stuff like that. The guy could be anywhere. It's very heavily wooded. There's certain parts of Kentucky that, it's mountainous, it's wooded. We've got forests. Like, I'm on the edge of a national forest. I'm surrounded by trees. And, people can get lost in these woods. I don't worry about things, anymore. I used to worry. I don't worry anymore. There's nothing I could do about it other than, lock my door. It's 40. Yeah. It's 40 there. That's unbelievable. It was in the low 50s here, which it felt really cold. And somebody, I don't know, a YouTube creator said that there was frost. And again, I don't know where he lives, maybe, in Michigan, but there was frost on his plants. When you get frost on your plants this time of the year, it just kills everything. Am I in the UP? What's UP? I don't know what UP is. Um, I'm not sure what UP means, Steph. I'm considered to be. Oh, you're in Southeast Michigan? Yeah, it's definitely cooler there. I mean, you're north. You're north of me. So, I mean, it does get cool here because I'm in the valley. And while my house is like in an open spot and get the sun during the day and stuff, it's surrounded by trees and there's a dip. So it gets really cold. Like as soon as the sun goes down, it's very cold. Breezy and chilly. I mean, compared to the way it is during the day, it was really nice and sunny today. But I think it only reached the upper 70s. But yeah, it's definitely it felt like fall this morning. So how's everybody doing? What are you guys working on? What are you guys doing? I'm looking at the book that I was reading. I've been reading it on and off. It's by Renee Pittman. It's called The Pain Ray Beam: Covert Technological Murder. I should say unaliving, because it's YouTube land. And she's got it very clearly outlined and labeled. And I'm going to read some of this. Let me just see, because I've read so much of this already. Let's see. Okay, let me see here. Okay, so I'm reading. It keeps. You can't watch. It keeps what? Throttling so bad. I don't know if it's just your phone. I don't know. I'm looking at my screen and everything seems fine. I never know when something's going to act up because I have a fan issue on my laptop. So it will overheat sometimes, so I've got like a little fan in back of my laptop now in case you hear any of that. But right now, just everything seems to be okay. I figured, I'll get on for an hour and a half, because I don't have a lot of room on now both of my phones. It makes no sense. I've deleted so much stuff, and I'm still having a difficulty. I'm gonna have to buy a new phone, or at least convert one of these to the original, the factory settings, and then start over again. Well, anyway, so Renee Pittman, Pain Ray Beam, Covert Technological Murder. She says here, in November of 2017, she woke around 2:30 a.m. to the sound of the beamed sonic weapon, hum, designed to create high-tech nerve damage or a synthetic brain aneurysm, or I can't say that word, the C word on YouTube. The covert high-tech beam assault was backed by a painful attack using extremely low frequencies, which is ELF, microwave technology, of which thousands of victims term the people cooker, directed energy weapons, including slow cooking of my heart. I looked out the window into the night sky for the source, And there were 3 drones with flashing lights hovering in a triangular pattern above my home in low orbit. By some estimates, there are 300,000 plus US citizens suffering similar attacks. Marginalized for official subjugation and ongoing human experimentation using highly advanced electromagnetic frequency weapons legalized for military personnel on civilians within a mobilized, unified COINTELPRO for ongoing research activity and human experimentation for law enforcement, federal, state, and local under the guise of crowd control on steroids. Today, many report testing on men, women, and even children. Had I been placed on the U.S. target kill list for refusing to be silenced and courageously revealing the heinous, covert paradigm of hideous fused military personnel, military technology, domestic program within a modernized high-tech COINTELPRO? Key were the attacks in the wee hours of the morning, which then gradually became more intense during the day. Or were they toying with me as time passed? One of the most corrupt police departments in the USA, which is the LA, Los Angeles Police Department, was playing a major role in a nationwide example, now using drones, satellites with rogue federal agents, systems and devices, and setups in neighboring locations, garages, and rooms in compliant community, their workstation and spearheaded by the FBI Joint Resource Intelligence Center, Los Angeles County Spy Center. So now that's actually just written on the back of her book. Now let me see the date of this book, because the estimate that she's got here is very, very low, and this is copyright 2013. So in 2013, she's estimated 300,000 people, but from what I understand, it's closer to 4 million US citizens. So she writes here, covert and intended to notice or not notice electronic harassment and torture. Electronic harassment is called covert if the target does not know about these weapons and methods. If you do not know about these weapons, you may think you have had all the bad luck in the world, and you will wonder what strange things are happening to you, to your body, and accept that you do not have control over your life anymore. If intended to notice or noticed electronic harassment is torture in most horrible form. What would you do if your body's made to react every time to events occurring in your life? For example, by making you burp or fart, your legs are cooked every night. Your ankle is cooked during the daytime when working behind your computer. Your knee is beamed to cause maximum pain, etc. Well, I don't know about you guys, but that happens to me. So some examples are to delay you. They want to delay you. They make you go to the toilet to urinate when you want to leave your house. They cook your legs before you go out running. They burn and cook your body, high power, to prevent you from doing work. Note that this delaying is often done together with gang stalking methods like cars blocking your road, phone calls when you want to leave your home, etc. To make matters worse, they make you sneeze several times when you have a cold. They cook your throat, and your throat becomes sore when you have a cold. They attack your eyes until red with blood. They cook your legs after running. They cook or burn where you already have pain. To torture you, they cook and burn your body everywhere. They cook your family, your children, your friends. Note that this torture is often done together with gang stalking methods like synchronizing saw machines, honking horns of cars, screaming birds, pigeons, and crows, etc. The maximum pain business beyond imagination and horror and cruelty without evidence. Special methods have been deployed to make you think that you have a heart problem, an erection problem, a toothache, etc. For the ones exposing these horrible, horrendous crimes, they develop methods to inflict maximum pain by cooking such a person alive with high-powered microwave weapon, or burning the skin of the target, or making the target burp or fart every few minutes, to events occurring in the life of the target. For example, opening up a website on a computer, saving a file, cars passing by the window. Some authors refer to the development and use of these weapons as the pain business. I would like to make a correction. Please call it the maximum pain business. After accepting that there really is such sick and disgusting creatures actually developing and applying these methods in torture, you also have to accept that it's not about just pressing a button, but also about the way how this torture is applied. Zapping your eyes red to make you look bad, cooking your biceps to prevent you from swimming, cooking your throat to prevent you from singing, inducing heart problems and toothaches to prevent you from working or sports. More horror, these methods and procedures could not have been highly developed without being tested on humans or real persons. And again, more horror, these methods are often used with gang stalking, organized stalking methods. Like, they cook your ankle with insane intensities and making your foot very painful. And when you go outside, all kinds of people with leg problems are crossing your path. People are limping, they're in a wheelchair, sometimes even someone without a leg. Or they start sawing wood somewhere. And when the saw enters the wood, cooks your body with high intensity microwave. This torture is applied 24/7. Welcome everybody to the chat. If you have any questions or comments, you leave them in the chat. This torture is applied 24/7. Not once every hour, but more like once every minute, every 5 minutes. Horrible torture that can be called torturing a person to death. And then there's a special case, the heart attack. Damage to your body can be done in several ways. One vital organ is the heart. They can attack the heart very effectively with microwave weapons, cooking the heart area slowly. High power microwave, which is HPM weapons, cooking the heart area in a second. Hi, Elsie. Yes, thank you so much. From Arkansas. Then there's ultrasonic weapons, pressurizing the heart area, the heart frequency manipulation weapons. These weapons can damage your heart in a split second. You may not survive such an attack, but you can also be used to slowly damage your heart, slowly cook your heart area, so you will get a strange feeling. And in fact, your heart really is damaged. Then there's also the frequency manipulation attack. Your heart may feel like it's pulsing or blobbing like crazy. They cook the heart area from the front, often together with a cook beam, from left behind. Slow damage, horrible feeling. Then they might flash your heart with a very high-powered microwave, instant damage. Pressurize your chest, it takes your breath away, even if applied with enough power. So I'm just going to skip around or whatever. And she says, well, I'm alive at this moment, but I think they're trying to give me a heart attack. Anyone with a radio can use this method and cause damage to any organ specifically. The FCC has really fallen down on the job. Basically, any mob can do this to you. And I do believe the FBI, CIA, and NSA are mobs. They take out contracts and are evil and stupid, she's saying. The woman who now heads our safety department said that we could not bring spectrum analyzers to work. I don't think anyone but me would have understood what that was. What this means is that we are not allowed to protect ourselves, as if these evil, doughy people could be our judge, jury, and executioner. The Nazis used this technology in World War II, And that's how old it is, maybe even older. They're still using it along with MRIs and infrared through the wall. Their favorite thing is to say, "You can't prove it," which of course proves it. No one is free if not one is not free. It becomes virtually impossible to protect yourself. The human body appears to be extremely vulnerable to electromagnetic radiation of all kinds of frequencies. The human body is also an electromagnetic transmitter, and sensitive radio equipment can pick up and decode the signals that are generated when speaking, thinking, etc. In contrast to a knife or a bullet, electromagnetic signals are not blocked by walls. Compare your cell phone. Limited protection is possible using sheet metal, metal plates, water, a vacuum, but if you really are a target, the attackers increase intensities, and if necessary, to insane levels. They'll change the frequency, attack from different angles, but also remember that these weapons can hit a person without hitting the person sitting next to this person. They can be aimed, and the diameter of the beam can be made small enough to hit only the target. So that's why, if you're in a relationship, your spouse will say, or your boyfriend, or your friend, or your other families will say, "Well, it's not happening to me." That's because the technology is so precise, and anybody can be a target. Electronic weapons make it very easy to eliminate persons, to get persons temporarily out of the way, to unalive people, all without evidence. And most of the time, even the target doesn't know that he's being zapped, cooked, and burned with electronic weapons. The ones owning and controlling this technology now can get everything they want in a very easy way. They can get their football player into the national team by temporarily cutting out the competitor for the same position of the team. I'm going to skip forward a little bit. Let's see. Your car may be tagged. When you're a target, you will experience harassment everywhere, every time. If you have a car, they will tag your car. These are words I learned from a so-called target. This means they will equip your car with electronic weapons, not only to monitor you, but to also cook or burn your body while you're driving. They may also harass the target covertly and use the following beams. They give you a sleep beam to make the driver very sleepy. There is an eye beam, slowly cooking the eyes so tears come out and visibility reduces. They've been doing that to me for like 12 weeks, 13 weeks. Just to confirm, all of this is done to cause mental and physical death of the target. Harassment from neighbor houses, cars, handbags, airplanes, and satellites. Most of the electronic harassment comes from close neighbor houses. When you walk in the streets, you are probably attacked by electronic weapons, directed energy weapons from houses. They may be remote controlled or controlled by operator at these locations. If there are no locations for their equipment, they use these weapons from their cars. Oh, they absolutely do that here. Hi, Joe. How you doing? I'm reading from the book Covert Technological Murder, Pain Ray Beam from Renee Pittman. I've read a little bit from this book previously, and I just started reading about how your car may be tagged. Oh, okay. Well, YouTube will tag certain words. It's actually unaliving is being used now on TikTok and YouTube rather than using the KILL word or the MURDER word. Some of the words are picked up by the algorithm. It can get your shadow banned. It could get you demonetized and stuff. So, it seems like their key words are changing all the time. I can't even keep up with them. I don't even know what all of them are. But it appears as if if you're referring, if you're reading something, if I'm reading a book, that seems to be okay. But if I have an opinion, then that's not okay. If I have an opinion and I use those words, that's not okay. What is this gang stalkers want for? What do they want from you? They want your soul. These people, I look at targeted people, and obviously I don't know all you guys, but targeted people have special qualities. Yeah, targeted people have special qualities: intuitive, intelligent, researchers, technology people, caring, empaths, certain personality types, certain DNA types, certain blood type. And these criminals, remember, they're psychopaths, they're narcissists, they're addicts. Um, they think it's a game, they think it's fun. They look down on people who care about other people. They're greedy. For them, for most of these, like the local people, it's all about money, sadistic pleasure. So, they place you on a list for revenge. It could be because you're a whistleblower. You could be a competition. Yes, they are. Absolutely. That's a very good point. They're starved for attention. Exactly. They're absolutely sadistic. Some of them are, Satanists. I've said this before. There's a lot of witchcraft and voodoo and rituals. They're deeply enmeshed in rituals, and you have to remember that the Freemasons are all involved. The lodges, the religious organizations, they're all involved. I mean, definitely here. They leave their symbols around. It's undeniable. It's like the truth in plain sight for eyes to see. Well, for eyes to see, they're burning eyes in my building. They've burned eyes in the walls of my house. Yeah, of course, they want your attention. That's why they honk the horns. They want a reaction. Because remember, most of these people don't feel. So they go after us because we feel. They see that as a weakness to be exploited, right? Also, if you own a home, if you own property, they want to steal it. They want to asset strip you. They want it for free. It doesn't matter how much they have. They just want more, more, more. You notice a lot of Mormons. That's interesting. Well, yes, they are. They are part of it. And the Scientology people, that cult, they're all cults. I mean, Mormonism, that's how I look at it. Everybody thinks it's a religion. I see it as a cult. And also, I watched a YouTube video. I guess it was a couple of weeks ago. I mentioned on one of my videos, that the title was, "Is the Military a Cult?" And they went through a list of what determines if a cult is in fact a cult. And the conclusion was that the military is a cult. And in fact, the military is involved in many occults. Hi, Fred. How are you doing? Hi, Billy. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. I have a new name for it. I call it bitchcraft. It's bitchcraft. They're doing it on my property every day, every night, I should say. All night long. They're tearing up my property, digging it up, stealing my grass, soil. They're cutting roots of my trees. I mean, talk about nasty. I mean, who does this? But I wanted to mention also that before I started the live, which is why I was a little bit late, I was not only finishing up eating, but there is an active shooter on the loose. There's a manhunt underway for an active shooter in Kentucky, just about 45 minutes from me. And the guy's on foot. He was in the military. He's been under the FBI radar. I mean, who isn't, right? So under the FBI radar, for terror threats. Yes, for terror threats. Well, no, you know what? I don't take them seriously, Billy. They take themselves seriously, and obviously, witchcraft is something that they believe in, and it certainly does exist, and they leave it behind for me to find. I guess maybe there's some people that wouldn't know what it was, but I've dealt with this in New Jersey. And in fact, in New Jersey, I was trying to figure out why my house wasn't selling. Like 3 years went by. Every realtor I hired was acting very weird. Like they started off nice and they acted weird. And I knew that there were people interested in my house, but something was going on behind the scenes. So I actually joined a witchcraft forum. I knew something was going on. I asked, I said, I'm finding these berries on my property. These, what are they called? They're not elderberries. I'm forgetting what they're called now. Uh, I'm forgetting what they're called. It'll come to me. But these berries that I didn't have anywhere in my yard. I mean, I'd lived there for 30 years. Yeah, yeah. Well, the smear campaign, is alive. Like they believe their own lies. So why not believe the lies that they create about us too, right? So yeah, so I had asked questions of these witches. I said, my house isn't selling. Are there such rituals as putting a curse on somebody's house to not sell? And they said, well, yeah, of course. I mean, you could do that. You know, you could do that with anything. And I said, well, what would it be? So they pointed me to some other channels, websites back then. It wasn't YouTube, it was websites. And I saw exactly what they were doing. They told me to go to the four corners of my property and dig. And that's what I did. I found all their bitchcraft. I found it in the front of the house, and they would take very thin tree branches in the shape of a Y, like the letter Y, and they'd stuff them all at the base of a tree. Like they're trying to kill it, right? They're trying to suffocate it, kill it. That's what these creepers do. Private court hearings. Wait, wait, wait. Wait, what did you hear? You heard from TikTok they have private court hearings, which are unconstitutional. Well, I think what you may be referring to, they have the FISA secret. They have the secret courts. They have secret warrants and secret meetings, and everything's in secret. You can't FOIA request this stuff because it's a secret, in the name of national security. This is insanity. Our government has been taken over by psychopaths. And I was listening to there's another targeted person had a brief video out today. It was an older video, and it was about how MK Ultra started. And it went from the 30s and the 40s and the 50s and the 60s, and Ewan Cameron and all those people and all the covert experimentations and the electric shock therapy and the LSD treatments and all of that. And then they had finally come clean after family members started suing. And they finally came clean and awarded the families, because a lot of the people did not survive, $100,000. I thought about that for like a nanosecond, and I thought, $100,000. That's like a drop. That's like a penny. It's like a penny. But I guess back in the day, $100,000 was considered to be a lot of money. The way I see it is, today, 2024 standards, I don't know if you probably couldn't hear that, but the criminals here, they're using radio frequencies to make snapping sounds in the loft of my house. Sometimes they're really loud and sometimes they're not. But by 2024 standards, I think that anything under $1 million per year of targeting is not even negotiable. It's not even acceptable. Exactly. They spend millions and millions of dollars. And when I say $1 million a year, that does not include medical bills. It does not include what they've done to your vehicles, your clothes, your home, your property tax. It doesn't include any of those other things. I'm just saying, just being in the program and being under surveillance and having your privacy taken away. And then, I mean, at least in New Jersey, and this is the way it was there. Now, think about this for a minute. In New Jersey, there was a, a patio paver guy I'd hired. He installed patio pavers for me. And then months later, his son comes to clean them and he totally screws them up. So I sue them both. And the way it works in New Jersey is when you file a lawsuit against a contractor, I'm not talking about private contractors, I'm talking about like a contractor, like a painter, a mason, does masonry work, a construction person, somebody who's doing an addition, a plumber, whatever the cost of the installation and the damages is then considered to be treble, meaning you get 3 times. If you win the lawsuit, it's 3 times the amount of money, right? So let's say you spend $10,000 and they do $10,000 worth of damage. You bring them to court, you times that times 3. And then, of course, you might add in your legal fees and whatever. So if you can receive treble damages for something as menial, I'll use the term menial, as a construction issue, which is not anything to sneeze at. It really screws up your life and is a royal pain in the ass. Then what do you think it's worth for what they do to us every day of our lives? The asset stripping, the sleep deprivation, the slander campaign alone. Do you have any idea? Like, you listen to the celebrity lawsuits, and they file defamation lawsuits, all the time, what the paparazzi and stuff. And these are millions and millions of dollars just for defamation. And then what they do to us on top of the slander campaign to prevent us from working, to isolate us from our family and friends, torture our pets, steal them, perform rituals, bituals with their bitchcraft, asset strip you with thefts, home illegal entries, and just the stress alone. Oh, hi, Billy. You're in Bedford, Indiana, not far from you. Oh, you know what? I think you're the one who told me, maybe you're the one who says that whenever you drive through Kentucky, that it's really worse for you, as the targeting is worse for you. And you live in a town of all Freemasons. Oh, well, yeah. Welcome. Right here where I live. I can't really tell you where I live. Obviously you could probably figure it out, but I live in Jackson County. Okay. Now you would think that in Jackson County, the whole county, that they'd have one Freemason lodge, or maybe 1 or 2 Freemason lodges. They'd be scattered around the county. Not here. There are 3 Freemason lodges, and they're all literally within a few miles of my house. On a good day, I could actually walk to a couple of them. Yeah. Oh, you have four. They're everywhere. They're everywhere. But from what I've heard from other people that they're going to be losing membership because as a downturn of the economy, that these memberships they have a membership fee that is on an annual basis, and a lot of people are not paying their membership fees for anything. Like when you go down the list of things that you can afford and cannot afford, memberships and subscriptions and stuff are probably at the top of the list. People just automatically get rid of that stuff. Let me see. I'm just reading some of these. Well, thank you so much, Bill. Well, my property is beautiful. It really is beautiful. I mean, it's so unique because if I walk in one direction, I look like I feel like I'm living in a different place. And then when I go back into the woods, it doesn't even feel like it's the same place because, I live in my house and most of the time I spend like taking care of the chickens. I walk back and forth to the cats, back and forth to the chickens, and then in my house. So there's probably an area of about 3 miles that I pretty much live in most of the time. And then when I meander out of that area, I feel like I'm living somewhere else. It really is absolutely beautiful. Yeah. Well, I wanted to say the criminals and the freaks are jealous of me and my home. Well, they had the opportunity to purchase this. The former owner allegedly, and I use that word, like was very revered and beloved by, everybody around here. I also think that they were very jealous of him. I also felt that they got close to him thinking that they might be able to get something that he has because he was very generous. He was a lovely, lovely man. Like when I purchased this property, literally it's a hot mess. I was living in my car at the top of the hill. His mobile home trailer was covered in black mold. I was not able to live in it. I was only using the restroom there and the shower. But I think after he passed away, everybody was thinking about how they could get this property because it really is. It's so unique. It's so different. It has so many streams. It's got frogs. Like I've got a fox in my front yard that I feed. I figure, since I started feeding the fox, he's not gone after any of my chickens. Before I started feeding the fox, like my chickens would start disappearing. He'd come down because I guess they have little babies too. So yeah, so I've got a couple of resident foxes. I just call him Foxy, and I just leave eggs out for him. Like he's got like 8 or 9 eggs, and he comes, he walks down. All the security lights turn on because he sets everything off. He comes down, and he's so gentle. She is so gentle. Walks up to the egg, picks one up in her mouth, and then runs off with it. And then about 10 minutes later, um, I think it's a good idea to sue for tree damage. Do you know how long it takes for 100-foot tree to grow? And the roots are so deep. And that's what they're doing to my trees too. Yeah, they just I don't know if you Fred just said they just they just need adult diapers and pacifiers. Normal people don't get jealous of their neighbors. Well, let me just tell you. 1 second. That was just one of my alarms going off. But let me just tell you that my neighbor, the one who is envious and jealous, the one who trespassed my property, posting no trespassing signs, the one on Neighborhood Wars on A&E, April 11, 2023. But anyway, their house is huge. I don't even know how many square feet it really is, but it's got to be like 4,000 square feet. It's tremendous. and they have much more land than I have. And like me, they've got land on both sides of the county road. And they've got RVs and tractors, and they've got like everything. You know, when you're living a place like this for a long time, you have to have all the equipment to take care of the property and stuff. But they have so much more than I have. But they're greedy. They want what other people have. And you know what I think it is too? Um, Everybody around here, except for the women who were married and whose spouses have passed away, there are no single women around here. Like me, you know, there are no single women that have a property like this that are independent and stuff like that. So it's gotta piss them off. It pissed off women in New Jersey. After I got divorced, the men who I'd been friends with, you know, and their wives, friends with for years and years because of my daughter, the women treated me as if I had a disease they didn't want to catch. They didn't want me around their husbands like I wanted any of those guys. No, um, I didn't want any of their husbands. And what happened was every one of them started backing away and backing away, and then started. It was almost like they were jealous. It's all like they were afraid that if they saw that I could live alone in this house, you know, that they might be able to do it too. So I think their husbands were afraid that maybe their wives would get ideas and divorce them because some of them were not happy. A lot of women stay married for financial reasons, and I wasn't going to do that. You know, that's not my thing. Either I'm going to be with you or I'm not going to be with you. That's it. I'm like black and white that way. And so they ended up treating me. Oh, my neighbor's nuts. Oh yeah, my neighbor is totally nuts. Um, I would venture a guess that not only did she have underlying personality disorders, but she probably has an addictive, some form of addiction. She's insanely jealous, vindictive, and spiteful, which is those traits are very narcissistic. And she feels extremely entitled. And like I said, they have way more property than I do, more acreage. Their house is tremendous, huge, and there are only two people living there. Like, why do they need such a big house? They're probably saying the same thing. Why does she need such a big property? She's only one person. Well, why do they need a huge house like that? Sell your damn house and get the hell out of here and downsize. That's the way I look at it, you know. But have have I ever seen the trailer trash Barbie? Is that a YouTube channel? Trailer trailer. I have to look it up. Oh, what you're describing, Billy? When you wake up feeling your legs burning and shaking from the knees down, I have the exact same thing. It's exactly the same. And they just recently killed another one of my cats. They had been killing her very slowly. I felt so bad. She's such a sweet little cat. They gave her some kind of a wasting disease. Look it up on Google Images. What is it? The trailer trash Barbie. Maybe I'm going to look it up right now. 1 second. Well, hold on. Oh my goodness. Oh, this is too funny. Oh my goodness. I, no, Yeah, I didn't know. I need to buy one of these. I think when my daughter asks me what I want for Christmas, I'm gonna tell her I want one of these Barbie dolls. Did you hear um Robert? What did he just changed his YouTube channel name? It's called Phoenix Rising 505, I think. He he created a song and a video. He said it was inspired by alternative homesteading, and it was a hillbilly song about Carmageddon. About Carmageddon's on its way. So yeah, I can play that with my Barbie doll, my trailer trash Barbie. That is too funny. No, I didn't know. How do you know that there's a trailer trash Barbie? My goodness, that's so funny. Yes, the similarities are ironic. Yes. What they do, we have to have a talk about this. What they do to animals. It's not just cats and dogs. You're gay. Oh, I think it's just hilarious. I didn't know. My neighbor does look crazy. She is crazy. I mean, it's crazy when you trespass somebody's property and you post no trespassing signs on their property. Yeah, what's even crazier is that the county lawyer, the county prosecutor, he just goes along with it and protects her. Yeah, that's even crazier. Yeah, I'm really sorry to hear that about burning your dog. This is unfortunately, I have seen so many photos. People have sent me photos of their animals being burned, and I've got it here too. Um, Unfortunately, I can't. There are no photos that I can't post photos on here, and I can't figure out how to share a screen. I'm gonna have to, when I have time, go into this chat, go into the live and not make it public, like keep it private and just experiment with what I can do with the screen and stuff. I know that there's a way for me to be able to share my screen, but I can't figure out if I can do it in the YouTube studio or if I need to get like an add-on. Somebody told me, I don't know if it was David Atkinson, so that you have to like purchase like an add-on, and it's like a monthly fee or something like that. I don't want to pay any more fees right now. What they do to animals is just horrible. Um, they burned a hole in my cat Chiclet's face. They burned the same hole in the side of my rooster. Well, I've invited people to visit before. I mean, I have had some targeted people here. I invited Karen Stewart here last year. She said, well, maybe next year, but then she disappeared. Jeff, the American guinea pig cash cow, he was here for, I think, 3 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, and then he disappeared. I've met like two other targeted females here in person. One I'm still in contact with, fairly regularly. Um, did I listen to, man? Yes, I did. I did. I listened to all of those interviews because even though they can be a little bit long, there's always some really interesting aspect of somebody else's targeting that I've never heard of before, especially when people are overseas. Now there's I can't say his name, but there's a subscriber to this channel. Is that radio playing? Is that radio playing? I don't have a radio playing in the background. Well, what you're saying, you have only 6 houses on your street and all of them involved in trashing your property. Oh, it's exactly the same here. Exactly the same. I had so much trash dumped on my side of the property this week. And then when I removed it and threw it into the county road because my landscaper was here to cut that area, the bitch next door, my neighbor, called the sheriff on me. Well, the Navy, I've heard that the Navy and the Air Force are very heavily involved in all this. All the military are involved. And it wasn't last year, it was the year before. I'm out cleaning the front of my driveway, and people are always doing U-turns in my driveway. They do it intentionally, but this guy pulled in and he waited a little bit, and his license plate says retired U.S. Army. So yeah, all the military people, they're all involved. Okay, wait, let me just read this. Oh, yes, I heard that. Yes, I heard that, Joe, that he says that the program will go public in 2030, but by then the TIs will have been eliminated. Who knows what the truth is, if it will be exposed, and hopefully we'll see some compensation. Well, by 2030, it's not just going to be us. There are going to be a lot of people that are not on this planet anymore. Because of all kinds of reasons. I mean, look at what they're doing to these kids that they're transitioning, and then they're detransitioning. They're sterilizing them. Some of them are unaliving themselves, and they are so miserable. It's horrible what they're doing to these kids. Oh yeah, they're all military. Well, Infraguard. A lot of the Infraguard people are retired military. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm not using the right term because um, somebody told me who's a Marine. He says you never use the word retired. Marines don't retire. They're always Marines. So I mean, I don't know if that's true. I mean, if you're not in it anymore, then you're retired. That's the way I look at it. You don't know what the truth is. The program may never end. Or they could be saying that and it could turn into something completely different. MK Ultra never ended. COINTELPRO never ended. They just changed it up. Well, yeah, that is. A lot of veterans are targets. A lot of them are homeless. And then a lot of them have turned into perps also. You just don't know what's going to happen with this. Like you said, with the New World Order, you just don't know how they're, that what's his name? Schwab, what's his name? Klaus Schwab, who stepped down. You will own nothing and be happy and eat bugs. You will eat the bugs. There is no friggin' way I'm going to eat a bug. No, not going to happen. Nope. And plus, from what I understand, whatever protein are in like the insects, there's like they're saying that there's supposed to be there's nutritional value to it. And yes, my chickens will tell you that they love them. They love mealworms and stuff like that, and they're very nutritious for the birds. There's no way I'm ever going to eat one, but from what I understand, that they're indigestible to humans. This is what nobody's telling you, that they're indigestible to humans. They're not made for human consumption, and now they're actually using some of these insects in flowers, in some of the baked goods that we eat. I mean, hopefully not what I eat. I mean, if you're eating organic food and you read the labels and you've got only 2 ingredients or 3 ingredients, then I think you're okay. But most of the breads and baked goods are total garbage. Yes, you know what? I've kind of come to that conclusion just recently that the Air Force runs this program. Yes, I think so. But then, then the boots on the ground people, they're somebody else. I think they're infraguard, and infraguard can be comprised of retired military. Billy, why don't can you email it to me? Yeah, and the Fusion Center operatives. Yeah, the Fusion Center operatives. Yes, yes. Um, sometimes people give me phone numbers through emails, and I'll include it in my phone. Let me just look a second to see if I have it. If you sent it already. 1 second. Let's see. No, I don't have it. No. Um, yeah, the fusion centers. You've got a dash cam. Yeah, they're all military. It's all military, and Kentucky is. I didn't realize it, but Kentucky is just. We've got a huge military population around here, and I noticed. I mean, I wasn't looking for it. I don't see it yet in the live, but yes, it can be deleted. Oh, that's not good. They use regional notification alerts. You've seen immigrant workers looking at their phone and at me as if I was the person of interest. So, do you hear any noise now through this live? Because I have a fan problem on my laptop. So, the fan inside my laptop, you hear a man talking? Really? Does anybody else hear a man talking? Well, I was just going to say, I have a tiny little fan. Somebody else said that the last live that you hear somebody talking. It's a man. No, I have no radio on. I have no radio on or anything. But maybe what you're hearing is the criminals that are surveilling me. No, I have no radio station. You hear it too. Everybody hears it except me. But anyway, in the back of my laptop screen, I have a tiny little fan. I can turn it off for a minute. You can tell me if this is what you're hearing. 1 second. Okay, so I just turned the fan off. Yeah, I turned off the fan, but in my laptop is making a little bit of noise because it's still there. You still hear talking? You know what? I'm wondering if somebody has hacked the live stream in a way that it's annoying everybody else, but I can't hear it. I don't hear anything at all. That's so weird. What's this guy saying? Really? Against me? He's using satanic words against me. Like what words? I'm a minister and throwing fire. Sounds like some order videos. Low volume. It's a deep voice. That's so weird because I don't know if it was the last Can you still hear it, Eden? Oh, my email. Okay, my email is alternativehomesteading@gmail.com. And hi, Echoes of Infinity. Here, let me just write it down here. I wish you could record the voice too. You heard Arabic? You're kidding. So one person says that the voice is, yes. I wish Lookout for Charlie would analyze some of my stuff. I contacted him, I guess, more than a year ago, and he never got back to me. I turned my fan off, but I really do need to turn it back on again because I have my laptop is hot because the fan's not working well. So I've got like a little tiny fan that I put in back of it just to cool it off a little bit. So I just turned that little fan on. I just turned the little fan on. But you're hearing words? You have a lady that can interpret these frequencies. Oh, Amy. Yes. Well, Amy analyzed some of my recordings, and she was able to get the name of the person. I just put, well, no, my laptop fan is not working, but it's making noise because it might, it's overheated. So I have a little tiny fan. Hi, Franjo. Oh, you've got the one headlight stalking you all day. Well, let me tell you, New Jersey's pretty big on this stuff. Like all the cops are in on it. Now, when you say bi-directional V2K on me, I don't hear any sound. I just have very loud tinnitus, and they put me to sleep all the time. They just totally knock me out. Yes, my laptop is making noise. Yes. Yeah, they've pretty much killed my laptop. Yes, Max Williams is targeted guy. He's in his 80s. He said there are two different types of V2K. I never knew this, but he said there's the kind that you actually hear the words, and then there's the kind that you don't hear. And I probably have the kind that I don't hear. It's just loud frequency. That's all I hear. And New Jersey is definitely, yes. And you know what? I think that what's happening, I think New Jersey is going to become more populated. And then a lot of people from New Jersey are actually moving down south. They're moving to the North and South Carolina and Florida. Yeah, Billy, that's exactly what I have. That my ears ring very loud, but I don't have the words, but they knock me out. And the frequency to the ear is it creates a lot of fatigue. It makes you tired. Well, my house in New Jersey that I sold back in 2019 is going for $900,000 now. Like $350,000 more than when I sold it. It's crazy, the prices of houses there. Yeah. I want to figure out, is there a way that you can record your tinnitus? Yes, definitely. You'll hear the car horns when you exit a parking lot, when you exit. Small earth magnets behind the ears. What's an earth magnet? Oh, the property taxes in New Jersey are crazy. I mean, that's the one thing about living here is that the taxes are so low. Oh, the mechanical talking stopped? Oh, good. Oh, I'm so glad, Billy. Yeah, I started doing the lives again. They drive yep, the large trucks. Yes, yes, yes. Everything is carefully orchestrated and timed. Silicone. Earplugs? Does it really? It blocks the signal? I haven't tried that. Yeah, well here, like we get a lot of pickup truck like everybody around here seems to have a new vehicle. That's how you can tell that they're perps. When you live in an impoverished area, well, I shouldn't say impoverished. It's just a lower economic status here compared to other parts of Kentucky or where I lived previously. Um, Hi, Ace of Cups. Well, it's so good to see all you guys here. I was able to get on here earlier, 10 rather than 11 because it's getting darker earlier already, and it's like my birds know that. So even the guineas that are like horrible teenagers, they never want to go in the coop, they've been going in earlier. So I've been able to eat dinner earlier and then get on here earlier where just a couple of months ago, they weren't going in until 10. So now they were in at 9. So I'm thrilled. I feel like a mother, like getting her kids to sleep and then having some free time to myself. It is. It's even for a lot of targeted people were somewhat private before, lived alone, had a few friends and whatever. But what these people do to us is just really off the charts. And if I didn't keep so busy with the animals, it would be really horrible. Um, and now I've got 2 new cats. My guineas had babies, so I've got baby guineas. I've got a mama cat and her daughter that are keeping me busy. Always weird looks. Everywhere we go. They follow you. Now, this is the thing. Like, I'm going to have to listen to it later. Um, there is a massive manhunt underway for an active shooter right here in Kentucky. He shot 5 people on I-75, which is literally like 40 minutes from where I live. And the Kentucky State Police was following him by helicopter, trying to locate him. Oh, the guineas, yeah, they are something else. Let me tell you. And it's not like I have like a handful. Like I've got a lot of them, and this year, like we lost 9 of them. Nine of the babies didn't make it. 2 of my adult guineas um, died. Like a criminal killed one of my guineas last week or the week before. Um, but I've got, let's see, right now I've got 3, 4, 5. I've got 5 baby guineas now. They're so cute when they're little. They are so adorable, but they're very nervous little birds, very nervous. And then they get into trouble. They decide they're going to go on a field trip, and they don't tell me they're going. They just split. Like a whole bunch of them will just leave, and you won't find them anywhere. Oh, you didn't know? Okay. That's what other people have said that I was talking about guinea pigs. Well, they're called actually called guinea fowl. Um, they're guinea fowl. I just call them guineas. And because I have so many of them, none of them have any names. I call every one of them a guinea. I just yell at them as guineas. They are cute. And they are funny the way they run, the way they chase each other and stuff. And now I'm really screwed. Like my hen, the one that these criminals killed, she was taking care of 4 babies. Well, those 4 babies, I thought were going to be hens, but they turned into roosters. So I have 4 new roosters. It's no good. I have too many roosters. Way too many roosters. And they're also pretty too. Like roosters are really good looking birds. Yeah, it is funny. It's just so, you know what it is? It's not only difficult to trust people, but I think with their technology, with their mind control technology, that when there is somebody close to you, that they could put signals into somebody else's head to not like you or to not trust you. It's not like that they're not even telling them directly, that they're manipulating their thought process, about you. I think that they absolutely have the ability to do that. And also these days, with the way the economy is, the way of the world, there really are not a lot of people that you can trust. Yeah. I mean, it really blows my mind, how they're utilizing the technology to manipulate our level of consciousness, to manipulate our thoughts, manipulate our sleep cycles, who we're in contact with. There are sometimes like I can't get the right words out of my mouth because they've radiated me so badly or put me to sleep, which they do every day. They totally knock me out every day, several times a day. What is the voice? Tell me, Billy, what is the voice that you're hearing? I don't think that they're doing it consciously because they pulled this stuff with my mother. And I have a really good before they unalived her. I had a good relationship with my mother. We talked about everything and stuff. I don't know what it is. I don't know what the background words are. I don't hear what you're hearing. I think that they're doing it intentionally, like the perps, knowing that I have a live stream. They're doing everything inhumanly possible so that we don't connect. The channel doesn't grow and stuff. So it wouldn't surprise me that they have the technical ability to put noise somewhere that I'm not hearing it, but you are. Oh, it's absolutely on purpose. I guess it was a couple of years ago. I started my own conference call. First, I never did it again. They dropped me from the call more than 20 times in a short period of time. They did not want me to have my own conference call. You think it's on my Wi-Fi? I don't hear it at all. They're doing something. So somebody has the technical ability to get into the live stream and alter the audio that you're hearing. I guarantee that after I end this, it's an overlay. I'm wondering if, like, after the live stream ends and we go to play it back, on the YouTube channel, if we'll hear any of it. But it wouldn't. Hi, Tasha. It doesn't surprise me that there are voices in the audio. When Amy Holm, when she analyzed my videos, she heard all kinds of conversations in my audios. Yes, they did. Yeah, they did that to my mom. I have the video on my YouTube channel. I was interviewed by Dr. Brian Artis about my mother. They gave my mother a seizure in her sleep, which forced her to go to the hospital during, the COVID. And they tested her, and she tested negative. But they treated her as if she had it. And they put her on a ventilator, gave her remdesivir. They gave her a heart attack. And then she became brain dead. She was perfectly healthy. Yep. Yeah, so fortunately, Dr. Artis interviewed me about that. Yes. Oh, yes. Good idea. Hit the thumbs up, everybody. Hit the thumbs up. Yes, my mother, she was beautiful. She was beloved. She was still working. She had a cat. She had a boyfriend. Lots of friends and family that, some of her boyfriend's family turned out to be really effed up. They're Scientologists, and they're evil, very evil people. But yeah, thank you, Billy. It changed me too. I still think of it. I still can't even process it. I get all choked up. And my daughter too, like, I accidentally, I have my mother's phone. So I was using her phone because it's just bigger and it had more memory on it. So I was watching a video and I wanted to send it to my daughter, and I used my mother's phone. And I sent it to my daughter from my mother's phone. Well, she freaked out. She said, please don't send me anything from grandma's phone anymore. It's just because she hears the sound, like it's a special ringtone. And, the phone number pops up, and it comes up as my mother's name and stuff. So my daughter understands somewhat. I mean, she knows because when we were in New Jersey, she saw the vandalism. I mean, she knows the way I kept the house. She saw what was happening to the cats. She doesn't understand it all, and I don't tell all of it, So, well, the thing is, sometimes family are led to believe that there is something. I hate the term mentally ill. It's not a mental illness. It's emotional. I know. I was wondering too about the Scientology, because These two, my mother's boyfriend's son and his wife, are deeply enmeshed in Scientology. They are evil, so evil, criminal minded. And they ended up stealing pretty much everything in my mother's apartment, even though it was all left to me. They even took my mother's cat and refused to give it to me. That's how evil they were. Well, my mother understood what was happening to me. And she believed it. And in fact, it was my mother who was so concerned about the home break-ins. She said, "Lorraine, they have to be getting in through a window." I said, "Well, no, all my windows are locked. I never, open these windows." She says, "Well, look." So I'm on the phone with her and I'm walking around the house, checking all the windows. I go into my therapy room and it's the window all the way to the right. I never opened these windows. Guess what? The window was unlocked. That's how they were getting in. So my mother was right. They were getting in through a window. They were coming in at night through this window and messing up my house, doing things to me, and then leaving through the window. And then during the day, they were coming in through my garage with a garage door opener. Said Bear. I see the thing is I have animals on my property. So like a lot of I've got a helicopter over my house now, guys. Here comes the helicopter. I've got a helicopter coming right over right now. Yep. It's just passing by. They could be looking for the shooter because let me tell you, it's a little scary, the guy is on foot and he's carrying his weapons with him. Now, this is about 40 minutes away, but I mean, people can walk several miles and, so the Kentucky State Police are looking for this guy. I think they said he's 32 years old. He's like blonde haired. He looks like he has dark eyes. And he had been threatening his family. Now, I was looking at this guy and what they were saying. I wonder if this guy is targeted. I think he might be a targeted person. Yeah, I agree with you, Elsie. It's very difficult. It's very difficult to explain. Very difficult to explain. The only way to explain it, like in lay terms, is that you're blacklisted. Most people understand blacklisting, and people who are in the know about what the watch list is, they may understand that, or the no-fly list, or now like there are so many people, politicians that are targeted. Exactly, Franio. That's what I'm thinking about this guy, this active shooter. I think he might be a targeted person. I mean, come on, he's on the FBI's radar for the last year. Doesn't that sound familiar? Doesn't that sound like that kid that just shot up the school? I mean, what a coincidence. I like Tulsi. I really do. I like her a lot. Like she's like one of the only politicians that like I believe and like I actually trust her. Yeah, there's aircraft everywhere. I think we're just going to see a lot. Yeah, Trump is the number one targeted if people don't believe what targeting is by not looking at what happened to Trump, I mean, I don't know what can wake people up. Trump is targeted person The Kennedys are targeted. All the Kennedys were targeted. Michael Jackson was targeted. Prince was targeted. Well, I think the elite hate him. I'm not a political person, but yes, Kennedy spoke about the secret societies and how we shouldn't have them and stuff. But I think the elite hate him. One, he's really not a politician. He's a businessman, and he's a self-made businessman, and he does what he wants to do. Like, he's one of those people where, I'm sure he's going to go along with some of the things that they want him to do, but he's like a wild card too. He's Ryan Garcia. Oh, yes. Is he the boxer? Oh, Britney Spears. Oh, I feel so bad for that girl. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yep. I feel so bad for that girl. And she's so talented. So talented. I was so fortunate to see her dancing with Michael Jackson the night before 9/11. I was at Madison Square Garden with my daughter watching the Jackson 5 and Michael Jackson 30th reunion. Elizabeth Taylor was there, Macaulay Culkin, um, Britney Spears. I'm trying to think. I think, um, what's his name? His name is escaping me now. I can see Usher was there. Yeah, I don't understand how she could continue to dance and sing the way she does and be under the horrific circumstances that she is. It's just horrible. I know. Oh, is that right? Trump's dad was just like him? I don't know. When I look at Trump and his wife, like Melania, like, she just looks like such a wonderful, like the epitome of the first lady. And then you look at Jill Biden, and she looks like white trash. I know. I'm sorry that she just looks like trash. She's just a horrible first lady. When you look at the president and the first lady, you just want them to look good. Like the Kennedys always look good. Even um, oh, the one who died in the plane crash, that gorgeous guy. Now, what was his name? Forget his name now. You know who else was targeted? Tina Turner was targeted. She ended up moving out of the country. Yeah, JFK Jr. He was so handsome. Oh my goodness. He was so handsome and charming. Yes. Yeah. Well, the radiation is horrible. And you know what? I don't understand. Is there's absolutely no reason to have any kind of radiation studies ever, because they've done them all before. Yeah. And that's where it comes from. And unfortunately, with all these 5G towers, and we all have cell phones. Like, I've got two cell phones sitting like right next to me here, which I really should move further away. Um, and just being in front of a laptop and the screen and whatever it is that they include in our devices that cause this, you know, it's just hard. It's all around us. birds dropping from the sky, a sea animals, beaching themselves, whales beaching themselves. I have not seen the whole film. No, Leave the World Behind. I've only seen the trailers of it. If I rewind back a minute, I will hear the overlay. Let me see. Okay, so I'm at right now at 1 hour 34. Let me write this down. 1 hour 34. That's a good idea to tell me that, and I could write down the time so that when we go and play this back, see if we hear something. Steven Schellenberger. Oh, yes. Oh, the Spark. Yes, I saw that. I saw that. And he was actually interviewed. I think it was on Talk Show or something. Yeah, oh bummer. Yes, oh bummer. I think produced the Leave the World Behind film. Like, why would he do that? Like, when did he become involved in filmmaking? You both still you hear a man's deep voice. That's so weird. Do you hear any words? Like, what is he saying? Yes, but they're not. It's not clear. Oh, 3 minutes ago. Okay. Yeah, I put it down like at 1 hour and approximately 34 minutes, or 1 minute before. Yeah, when we go to play this back, we'll have to see if we can hear the words in it. It's a low demonic voice. Well, it doesn't surprise me. You know what? I wonder if that is what I hear when they put me to sleep. Because I don't hear the words, but there's definitely a tone. It sounds strange. I don't hear anything. Yeah, oh bummer. That's what I call him. Oh bummer. It sounded demonic. Well, there are a lot of satanic influences around here. Again, we've got the three Masons. Three Mason clubs, lodges. It's gotten louder. Well, maybe we should all just tell it to go away. Let me see if I can find. I had this. It's gotten louder. Let me see if I can find it on my laptop here. Um, let's see, resources. Somebody had sent me, and I don't remember what it's called, something about banishing like the Freemasons or whatever. It was not a prayer, it was like a something to kind of banish them or whatever. Let me see if I can find it. It was like let me see if I can find it here. One second. I have a folder on my laptop called targeted resources, and it's just huge. I've got so much information here. harassment techniques, government use of aircraft, gossip, human farming, human trafficking, Infragard, monthly report, legal argument, military page, Morgellons patent. I'm not finding it. I'm not finding it here. Not seeing it. Anyway, if I find it, I'll end up reading it on my channel. It sounds like V2K hitting my mic. That's so weird. So I should timestamp it now, like at 1:40. 1 hour, 40 minutes. This is what we should do here. Let me see. I'm going to go into let's see if I can find it. I'm going to go back into YouTube, and there is a prayer. It's like a prayer against these losers. Let's see if I can pull it up here. Do you hear this, guys? This frequency is to get rid of demonic beings, repel the devil. Do you hear that? So this frequency, let's see, it's by the YouTube creator is Altona, Altona 777. Banish demons, get rid of demonic beings, repel the devil, defeat demons and devils, banish Satan. I mean, I don't know if this is true, if this works or not, but this guy, this YouTube creator, is fundraising to support Ukraine, and I'm not really I don't think that that's a good idea. I don't support that. Three, 4 minutes. Okay. I wonder if there, because so many of you are hearing it, that there has got to be something on you through the chat to allow anybody that is in the chat except for me to hear that noise, to actually annoy you so that you wouldn't be in the chat, so that you think it's happening from me. Let's see if I read something, because before I was reading there goes another one of alarms. So I was reading Covert Technological Unaliving Murder, and let me see. So anyway, I was at this point in the book on page 97, and it was hearing voices. Voice to skull. Special advanced equipment is used to beam voices or, in fact, any sound into your head. How is it applied? They make you hear voices that you should not hear. For example, they let you hear voices from people far away, very clear, as if they're standing next to you. This is an amazing experience. There's a lot of reports of people who claim they're attacked by voices. And why is it applied? To drive you insane. The top of your head beam. The top of your head is very sensitive. They will burn the top with some laser or microwave weapon. They will put a beam on your head and then wait for you to move. The feeling can be very painful if applied with enough intensity. You cannot do much with this beam on your head. It's horrible torture. And the after effects are, if it's applied with high intensity, it may take several days for the painful feeling to disappear. And why is it applied? To prevent you from working and doing your thing. Should you worry? Yes. Long-term irradiation may cause brain damage and tumors. You heard that they try to contact you through white noise. That's pretty much like what I hear. I just hear white noise, tinnitus. That's what I hear. It's just, it got louder when I moved to Kentucky. Um, and then there's something called a scratch beam. This is the first time I'm hearing this. They just beam your head somewhere, and the normal reaction is that you will start scratching your head. How is it applied? Most applied when other people can see you. If they do this every time with the same people, they may wonder what's wrong with you. They also apply this and have random people scratch their heads and then burn you feeling. It's not very painful. It's mostly a short pulse, although they can keep the beam on your head and move it after you start scratching your head. Why is it applied? To drive you out of your mind, drive you into attacking other people. Then there's the headache beam. This beam gives you a headache. It's some kind of high intensity, low frequency beam. The headache appears suddenly and also disappears suddenly. Now, Ravi, I need to change the manner in which I speak. These topics merely deflect from the real truth and perpetuate fear. I'm reading from a book. I'm reading text from a book. What topics would you prefer that I read, Ravi? Anyway, so there's the headache beam. The beam will give you a headache. It's some kind of high intensity, low frequency beam. The feeling can be painful. You may feel like a sickness, an alcohol beam. The feeling is you feel a little bit dizzy and see things a little bit foggy. How is it applied? They may apply it when you drink your first glass of beer, wine, etc., or when you have a cold or you're sensitive to hay fever. Then there's some of this. I'm reading and reading this and hearing these terms for the first time in this book. So they say heat cooking. They put the microwave beamer on your head, and your head is heated. This may do this after you drink a glass of wine, but also after you turn on the central heating of your apartment. You will feel hot, sick, and slow. It'll be slow. Then there's an ear short burst. Your ear is burst. The idea is to hit your eardrum. With your eardrum damaged, you have a strange feeling. There's ear continuous beam. Your ear is beamed for a very long time just to present you with pain, and they want you to move. And the feeling is that you'll appear that your eardrum and the surrounding area feels very sensitive and it's painful. And then your eyes, um, let's see, let me see. They may sting your eyes or blur your vision. Okay, let's see. Let's move on in this book. One second. Let me get to something. So now I'm on page 126. Department of Homeland Security. You want me to talk about DHS? Homeland Security? Oh, you're saying that they want us to focus on these things. Is that what you're saying? I see what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. While so many human lives are being destroyed in this definitive technology testing program, and all I can say is that their efforts thrive because many cannot comprehend, imagine, or more importantly, believe that such evil efforts exist, or that trusted authority figures whom we are taught or programmed to respect from childhood and honor are capable of these atrocities today. Poor behavior controls are in these groups as obvious as we can seesaw methods of their psyops. Human behavior refers to a range of behaviors exhibited by humans of which are influenced by culture, attitudes, emotions, values, ethics, and again, authority, rapport, hypnosis, persuasion, coercion, or genetics. Behavior of people and other organisms and even mechanisms fails within a range of some falls within a range of some behavior being common, some unusual, some acceptable, and some outside of acceptable limits. These programs continue to flourish and have flourished secretly for decades within the military industrial complex and other highly placed government agencies. Many Department of Defense contractors, without a doubt. Today, many are experiencing the effects of these nothing less than brilliant systems and devices, which left a trail of human lab rats and the resulting official patents being used not for the good of humanity, but for the good of evil, inflicting pain and destruction. And many psychopaths are able to appear as the quote unquote average everyday persons. I imagine that people who get addicted to killing others legally in this program would have to have no empathy or remorse for their actions. They're deeply programmed, and therefore they are more than likely psychopathic, sociopathic, or suffering from antisocial personality disorder. But there's a small difference between these illnesses. Let me just stay prayed up. Just refreshed. You're right now. It's 19. They're writing these. They are. So what you're saying is that these books are being written. These books are being written by non-targets, Ravi. Oh yeah, I'm a real target. I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy. It's disgusting. Okay, so what you're saying is like some of these books are written by the dark side for us to read. Is that okay? Well, that's certainly a possibility. It's definitely a possibility. I mean, sort of like many of these conference call leaders, the conference call people, they're all, they work for the dark side. They work both sides of the party. Yeah, it's certainly possible. I mean, this book is written by Renee Pittman, Covert Technological Murder, Payne Ray Bean. It appears as if she's got some inside information for sure. There are a lot of things like in this book that I've never heard of before. Let's see, she goes on to say, she says, some factually kill for the power surge they get from committing this act and the elation of again feeling like God through holding another person's life in their hands. A psychopath used to be defined as a moral imbecile or someone without a conscience, free of all moral constraints. Psychologists are still arguing whether psychopaths are created by nature or nurtured from childhood abuse, mental incapacity, or more important of all, the criminal culture of today. However, there's little to no awareness of mind invasive technology that mimics mental illness and effectively create the exact same symptoms. Those working in these programs believe themselves dominant over others through the technology, and when combined with grossly distorted egotism or do you know who I am and what can I do to you mentalities are extremely dangerous and definitely psychopathic. Well, look at like that Ewan Cameron and James Giordano, goes prancing across the stage about hacking the brain, and he seems to be reveling in glee about being able to manipulate somebody's brain. Google. Oh my goodness. Cheryl, other people are hearing some kind of sound in the background. I don't hear it. Even so, they must tell the truth in their agenda, thinking that karma will. Oh, no, 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 no. Karma's going to get them. Karma's on its way every day. They don't think so. They think that by displaying the truth in plain sight, that relieves them of karma. But they're wrong. And also, it's not that they just display the truth in plain sight. On a regular, everyday, moment to moment basis, they are plotting, planning, creating rituals, perform witchcraft against other people. So they are perpetually creating negative karma for themselves. It's perpetual. It's not that, just doing it once or twice and saying, well, if I do a good deed, then I'll get away from karma. Yeah, okay, so I did this really bad thing, but the truth is in plain sight. They're constantly doing bad stuff, and even the local neighbors that are prancing back and forth. This is premeditated. They wake up every day and they are getting their little dings to their phone and a little agenda to plot against you. And that's evil. And everything that's premeditated like that is just pure evil. And they're going to get theirs. It's all going to come back to them. I call it Carmageddon. It's the new word order. Carmageddon, it's the new word order. And Phoenix Rising 505, that small YouTube creator, he wrote a song about it, which is pretty funny. Oh, that's so interesting. Now, Rabbi, do you have my email address? Can you email me the name of that book? Let me see. Here's my email address again. I don't really know how they do it, but I'll be sitting at the laptop, listening to a YouTube creator or whatever, and they suddenly put me to sleep. I can't stand it. It drives me crazy. It could be for 5 minutes, it could be for 20 minutes. But you know how, like, when you wake up from any kind of a sleep, you're a little discombobulated. You're, getting back into, well, what did I do? What was I doing before they did this? So they're constantly interrupting my flow, and it can't be healthy. It interferes with your circadian rhythm. So the where's that book? The Frater. Let me just write this down. Book. You publish their secrets. Where did you pub? Okay, so I'm just gonna have to search for this. Wait, 1 second. I want to type this into the search for a minute. 1 second. 1 second. Let me see. Oh, I see here. Okay, let's see. Is this right? One second. 1 second. Books by. Okay, I'm just gonna put this in the chat. Is this your book? Joe, I never hand out flyers. I never hand out flyers. But what I do is I will post on Facebook sometimes. I created a Facebook page for the town that I live in. And I will frequently post information about the gang stalking that goes on here, the harassment, the community harassment, and I'll post photos as proof. Oh, thank you so much, Ravi. Let me just look in my email here. Oh, I received it. I received it. Thank you. All right, 1 second. Okay, yeah, thank you, Ravi. I received it since 2004. Well, if you ever want me to read some of your testimony on my channel, I'm happy to do that. I don't always have time to do, the face to face, the testimonies like David A does. I just don't have the time. And the different time zones are problematic for me. I've got too many animals here to take care of during the day. But I've had people send me some written testimony, page, 2 page, 3 pages, and I'm happy to read it on the channel. That's really interesting. Ace of Cups, it could be pre-recorded. That's really interesting. Maybe somebody's just playing something in the background. Oh, well, thank you so much. It's really horrible. I really, I think about it. It's like I want my old life back so badly. That's never going to happen. I can't. Yeah, that's a good point. And you know what? It probably is some kind of a recording. Oh, I so miss, um, the hobbies that I was engaged in back then. My old work. Um, I was supposed to get a PhD, and that didn't happen. Um, I mean, so many things, just so many things. And in hindsight, I probably should have stayed at my old house. Although, I didn't have enough backyard. And then, of course, I wouldn't have had my guineas. I would never had chickens or guineas. So, I mean, life is very different here. But um, there's like zero intellectual stimulation here, like zero, um, which is not good. So, but anyway, so we're going just a little bit over 2 hours here. I thank everybody for joining in to the chat, and I think we're gonna end here. And I'm looking forward to playing back to, like, everybody. Just mark this down, that a lot of people mentioned that a minute before the 1 hour 34 minute mark, there was some kind of an overlay. So that was at an hour and 34. And then there was another one, an hour and 40. But then there are some people that were saying that they heard it throughout the chat. So Joe, I just wanted to ask you, have you been passing out flyers? Because I remember, Jeff, the American Guinea Pig, he was always passing out flyers, and he actually had something posted on the side of his SUV. I would never do that. I think it's a really bad idea. I don't want to do anything in person. I'll tell you why. My friend Kim Straub, she was a targeted female. She was a nurse. She lived in Tennessee. Well, she was distributing flyers for Targeted Justice back then, back when Ella Fraud was, involved in everything. And where she was distributing the flyers was very close to the police department. Well, they didn't like that. And a cop approached her and gave her a song and a dance about distributing the flyers and arrested her. And then they Baker acted her. And I think she was there for, the 3 days and whatever. And then when she got out, uh, Ella was actually ostracizing her on a live podcast. Oh, you shouldn't have been distributing the flyers there, blah, 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 instead of supporting her. She's no longer with us. Um, I guess it was, I moved here in 2019. It was either later that year or 2020. I would have to look. She was killed. Oh, is that right? She's CIA? She's not very bright. Somebody just said that she's just really dangerous. I don't know. She just collected a lot of money from the community. They actually still have a fundraiser up. Her and her sidekick, Matthew Aaron, they still have. She has really. How do you know that? Well, she hates my guts. There's just something about her. I don't know what it is. She appears to be jealous of women. I don't know why. Oh, yeah, that's so interesting. That's what somebody else told me that too. It's like when you see these channels that have all those views. Yeah, I hear what you're saying, Ravi. Oh yeah, I've got yo, she's left some nasty messages for me. Yeah, don't I wouldn't share. You know what? The best way to share those flyers is to not do it in person. It's a hi con artist, how you doing? Um I would not be distributing those flyers out in public. It's one thing like if you want to fold them up and like let's say you're at the library and you leave a couple of flyers there, or maybe there's bulletin boards, somewhere if you want to post one on a bulletin board, but I wouldn't go passing them around to people. I just wouldn't. Yeah, I would Ravi, I would like to find out how you know that about her. Hi there. Hi. Yeah, we've been I've been on here. I guess it's a little over 2 hours. Some people have said that throughout the throughout the live that they could hear like these really sinister voices underneath that it seems to be playing over and over again. Yeah, I wouldn't pass out the flyers. Bots on the program. Oh, wonderful. Well, I think that a lot of my subscribers are bots, and some of them actually, some are perps, and some are helpful perps. Like every once in a while, I don't know, have you guys ever experienced where like there are perps out there, they know you're targeted, just a, um, that some of them will actually do something nice for you. And I spoke to another targeted female who said the same thing. She says, and as horrible it is, that's my alarm. 1 second. That every once in a while, one of them will do something nice for you or towards you. And I don't know if it's to relieve their negative karma. Real name, real location. Okay. I'm just reading what's going on here. Yes, dozens of helpful perps. Well, you want to hear something bizarre? And of course, when you question how do they know that, they never respond. And again, I didn't make a notation of the person that left the message for me, but it was on one of my videos a couple of weeks ago, and it was something about my neighbor. Um, and then somebody came in on the comments section and wrote that those neighbors had $1,000 removed from their bank account. I did a double take. Like, what is a bizarre comment to make unless you had inside information about it? I said, well, how do you know that? No response, of course. So it's almost like maybe they give you hints and clues about some truths, in a helpful way. Because I think that, even though some people that are involved in harassing you and me and whatever, um, some of them don't like what they're doing. They're just doing it, they're bribed, they're blackmailed or whatever. They know it's wrong. Like some of them know it's wrong, they don't want to do it, but they do. And then there are the others that they know it's wrong and they don't care, they love it. Like, so I think they're just different kinds of people that are involved in this. Some really just really need the money. Um, I'm just reading what you're saying here. Exactly. You know what I noticed in New Jersey? I lived there a very long time. I lived there 30 years. And I knew everybody like that drove around. I knew people's habits and stuff. So of course when the new people moved in, they were so out of place. But there was one neighbor that lived around the block, and you can tell that he was told to drive by my house repeatedly. And there was one day that I was walking down my driveway to my mailbox and he drove by. Now, this is somebody that I would normally wave to, whatever. And you could tell that they were so, like, they almost look embarrassed. They looked like they were embarrassed to be doing what they were doing. Oh, I see what I'm just reading. I'm reading some of what you're writing here. But yeah, there are some people that seem like to be very embarrassed that they're involved. Then there are the people that know what's happening but are not involved and they totally ignore you. Um, Famous movie. It's nothing personal. It's just business. Oh yeah, what movie was that from? It's nothing personal. It's just business. Well, yes, they sell out. Hi there, girl. Hi. Oh, The Godfather. Yes, yes, The Godfather. Yes. Yeah, that was a long time ago. I remember that. Yes. Well, this is a horrific program. And the fact that our government here brought these scientists over from Germany and employed them, instead of lining them up at a firing squad and starting a new program based upon what they learned from them, is just heinous. It's despicable. And for what purpose? Using against their own people? Well, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, Rabbit. Hi, Henry. It's just so despicable. And I feel like really naive sometimes, because when I became targeted, I didn't vote, I didn't watch TV, I was not political, I didn't know what a Democrat was. Literally totally clueless, totally removed from politics, none of that stuff. The only thing was that I went through a horrendous divorce and had some really horrible lawyers. It was horrible, horrible lawyers. Well, thank you so much, Ravi. Thank you for everybody that's joined in this chat and stuff. It's good to catch up this way rather than in the comments section. Not everybody reads the comments section, and sometimes, unfortunately, comments don't get posted. I don't see them. People tell me all the time that they posted a comment and it disappeared. I've posted comments that disappear on other people's channels. I've posted comments on other people's channels that are not anything that I wrote. That the wording was completely changed. And what is that from spiritual plane? Jesus admitted Satan is the leader, prince, ruler, king of our world. Well, I hope not. Oh. Well, no, I think Satan wants to believe that he's the leader. I don't know. I'm not a religious person, and I have not learned any of these teachings and stuff. Therefore, the Freemasons world. Yeah. Well, honestly, I can't stand these Freemasons. I can't stand them. I think they're evil. I just think they're so evil. They're joyless. They want to steal the joy from other people. They want to steal from others to line their pockets. They're just evil. Oh, Ravi, do you have a TikTok? Do you have a TikTok channel? Somebody's asking. Fred is asking if do you have a TikTok? Well, that would certainly, Henry. That would certainly. Ravi's not on TikTok. So you're saying your target is starting December 2018. I believe it started because I witnessed human trafficking and I called the Oakland Police Department. Well, that would certainly do it. I know three women, that were married to cops and divorced them, and they got placed in the program. And then Helena Chorba, who's no longer with us, she was hit on by a married cop, and she had no interest. One, he's married, and two, he wasn't her type. She was a civil engineer, and she got put in the program because of that. Just rebuffing a married guy? You got to be kidding me. It's just crazy. And then, I have 4 or 5 theories of who I think put me in the program. Obviously, there are lawyers. My divorce lawyer, who didn't divorce me after 3 years. So I contacted the Governor McCreevy in New Jersey, and I said, why is my divorce taking so long? Like the judges keep postponing things and blah blah blah. So McGreevy writes a letter to my judge, the judge, and I guess, and then my lawyer gets wind of this, and then my lawyer is the one that kept postponing things, and I found out through the judge's clerk when I called. I said, well, why does the judge keep postponing our hearings? And then the clerk says, it's not the judge that's postponing it, it's your lawyer. I flipped out. And I confronted him about it, and then he flipped out. I reported him to the ethics committee, and I think he certainly could have been somebody that would have nominated me in this program. Yeah, absolutely. The cops are all involved. This is their very lucrative side hustle. It's a little secret revenge for hire program. They know about it. They all know about it. I don't know if they're all involved in it. Yes, the sheriff's office, community-oriented policing through the fusion centers. Yes. Yep. Absolutely. This is why, I've asked this question of other people. How come these big companies haven't tried to sue the Sheriff's Association? Because Stephen Friends, who is the FBI whistleblower, specifically stated that he was kind of forced into placing innocent people on these target lists. He didn't want to do it. But he also said that it is the sheriff that allows these programs into their communities, that the sheriff can turn away the FBI. The sheriff can turn away all these federal programs. They don't have to allow these community-oriented policing. They don't have to allow any of these things, that they could turn them away. And that if you have a sheriff that allows this in their community, that you know that they're corrupt. That's what he said. He said that in his book. Exactly. Exactly. The sheriff could say no to the FBI. But the fact that they don't, this is the problem. This is why I think that, instead of everybody going to sue the FBI and the government, they need to go after the Sheriff's Association, the Sheriff's Department. They'll have surety bonds, and not only that, but the Sheriff's Association is the one that goes after, they pull people over and they what is it called? Civil asset forfeiture. They just steal. Yes, the Sheriff's Association. Yep. Yeah, and that the FBI whistleblower, Stephen Friends, he not only said it in the interview, but he said it in this book, True Blue, that I have here, that the sheriff does not have to allow these corrupt programs into their communities. They can say no. They can say no to them. Like, they don't have to have a community watch. They don't have to have citizens on patrol. But when they choose to have it, and then choose to have these people harassing people, then they're all complicit. They're all involved in it. So that's why, and I've said, I don't know, I've been saying it for 2 years, that I think everybody's suing the wrong people. It gets, you know what? And the thing is, like, when I was in New Jersey, I had I'll say, not that I had a lot of free time, but I had more free time than I have here to, to do all the legal research and stuff like that. And plus, I had the ability to make photocopies there. I had my office set up differently. I don't even have an office set up here. It just becomes very, very difficult for me to get work done here for a lot of reasons, which is another reason why I want to move. I need a different kind of house, different area that's conducive. But yeah, so that's my thought on that. And actually, it's interesting because let me find it a second. Uh, let's see. I asked AI this question, and I'll read it, and then I'm going to sign off. Okay, so I asked AI, ChatGPT. I said, "Who does the sheriff report to, and who oversees the sheriff? And how do you file a complaint against a sheriff?" Sheriffs are elected officials in most U.S. counties. They are generally reported to the public, who elects them. Unlike police chiefs, who are appointed by city officials and report to a mayor or city council, sheriffs operate at the county level and are directly accountable to the voters. So, who oversees the sheriff? There's public accountability. Since sheriffs are elected officials, they are primarily accountable to citizens of the county. In this sense, the public acts as the oversight mechanism through elections. Then there's the county commissioners or boards. While sheriffs maintain some independence due to their elected position, they may still interact with the county's governing bodies, such as the County Board of Supervisors or Commissioners. These bodies usually control the sheriff's office budget, but do not have direct authority over law enforcement operations. Then there's the courts. The judiciary can oversee sheriffs if legal complaints or lawsuits are filed against them, including cases of misconduct. Judges can order sheriffs to take specific actions or to face legal consequences. Then there's the state attorney general. In some cases, a state attorney general can investigate and take action against a sheriff if there are allegations of serious misconduct or violations of law. Number two, how to file a complaint against a sheriff. Filing a complaint against a sheriff or the sheriff's department follows specific procedures depending on the county or state. Here are the general steps. First, you have to file a complaint with the sheriff's office. The first step is typically to file a formal complaint directly with the sheriff's office. Most departments have internal affairs divisions that handle complaints about misconduct. This process can often be initiated by visiting the sheriff's office in person and submitting a written complaint, or using an online form if available. Then you can report to county authorities. If the internal affairs process is unsatisfactory, you can escalate the issue by filing a complaint with the county government or the County Board of Supervisors. They may have procedures for addressing complaints against elected officials, including sheriffs. Then you can contact the state attorney general. If the complaint involves serious legal or civil rights violations, you can escalate the issue to your state's attorney general. The AG's office may have jurisdiction over law enforcement misconduct and may initiate an investigation if warranted. Then there's civilian oversight boards. In some areas, civilian oversight boards may exist to handle complaints about law enforcement. These boards offer a level of independent review of police and sheriff actions. While not every county has such a board, checking if one exists in your area can be beneficial. Then you file a lawsuit. If the complaint involves serious misconduct, abuse of power, or civil rights violations, you can file a lawsuit in civil court. Working with an attorney, which becomes problematic for targeted people, who specializes in civil rights or criminal justice is advisable in these cases. Then there's the federal agencies. If the complaint involves a violation of federal law, such as civil rights abuses or discrimination, you can contact federal agencies like the Department of Justice or my favorite Bureau of Instigation, the FBI. I don't recommend that. It doesn't they don't seem to be doing anything for us. Number 3, common reasons for filing complaints. The misuse of power or authority, police misconduct such as excessive force, civil rights violations, unlawful arrests or detentions, failure to properly investigate crimes. I could check that like 50,000 times here. Corruption or unethical behavior. Well, yeah, my county lawyer here, he fits that bill. Conclusion. While sheriffs are elected officials, thus primarily accountable to the voters, there are multiple channels for oversight, including county authorities, state governments, and the courts. If you need to file a complaint, you can start with the sheriff's office itself and then escalate to the county or state agencies if needed. So that was all the message from ChatGPT. Okay, so let me read what you guys are writing here about the common law. Let me see. Yeah, I'm very confused about this whole thing about the straw man thing. I've heard a couple of YouTubers speak about this, and then one of them disappeared. Oh, the straw man is a debtor. Okay, debtor. Yeah, so far no lawsuits have worked. No, I've seen that so far. Yes, it's certainly is spiritual warfare. A fake name, all cap letters. Right. Yes. Well, I remember reading about this that like when you file a lawsuit that our names are all in caps. I never could understand that. Right. I don't know. I think we all need a course on this. This is it's not something that we ever learn. Yeah, there was a YouTube creator called the Justinian Deception, and he would talk about this, and his channel was so good, and then they came after him and his partner. The Social Security and the birth certificate are bonded. Is that a bill? What is that? HJ 192? Is that a bill? It's a bill, okay. Well, I always wonder, the government is going after all these Amish people lately. And I think part of it is, when the Amish have children, they don't get social security numbers. I don't even think they get birth certificates. The birth certificate is the letter of the bond. Well, see, this is the thing with the Amish. I don't know if you heard about it. This guy Amos Miller in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. They shut down his whole business. And then there was another one. They're going after the Amish like crazy after their businesses and stuff because they're they do their own thing. They don't have social security numbers. They don't have telephones. Oh, you're hearing the voice again on the phone here on the call. It's not sold on. Wait. Yeah, the Amish. Well, they're passive also. I believe that they generally don't even have firearms. Well, I'm so sorry that there's some noise in the background and stuff. I know one. I'm having trouble with my laptop. Like my laptop has a bit of a hum because its fan is not working properly. So now I have like a little fan in back of it. But even when I turned the fan off before, um, you guys mentioned that it wasn't my fan that was making the noise. Well, anyway, guys, it's like 1 o'clock in the morning here, and the chat's going on almost 3 hours. And I really appreciate everybody, signing on here, all the good information. And you can always anybody that's in the chat here, if you've got something you want to share with me, you can always email me at alternativehomesteading@gmail.com. Wait, you heard from Brian too that if you move to it's not friendly to the U.S. or so. Well, Brian has moved around a lot. He's moved around a lot. I also heard from one targeted person whose name I can't mention. He moved to a country where he does not speak the language, and he said his stalking, he still gets it, but not a lot, that it decreased substantially when he moved to a country where he didn't speak the language. So I thought that was really interesting. Well, thank you so much, Ace of Cups. Okay, no fighting, guys. No fighting. The moon is in Scorpio now, so everybody's gonna get their little knickers in a knot, but the moon is in Scorpio. you know what the, you know, and it's increasing in light. We've got what do we've got a crescent. It's a waxing crescent. So we got a waxing crescent moon, 11 Scorpio right now because I've got the little software program on my laptop. So when the moon is on Scorpio, Scorpio is not doesn't play nice sometimes. Wait, who's in China? Wait, one second. I've heard that it's pretty bad in Canada. Well, look at who you got running the place there. My goodness. There's a YouTube creator who speaks about China. His name is escaping me right now. Let me think. Yeah, I'm not remembering. But he's married to an Asian woman, and he lived in China for a long time. And his entire channel is about describing the differences between the U.S. and in China, and basically exposing some of the atrocities there. Ace of Cups. Oh, that's it. Serpent. That's it. That's him. That's him. Serpent. Yes, that's him. Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, he's got a good channel. I love watching his videos because it's so fascinating. I'm not a traveler, so when people who have traveled to other countries are able to show the way it is in other countries, I appreciate that. That's really interesting. There are a lot of well, I shouldn't say a lot. That's wrong. There are people that are moving out of the United States, and some of them are moving to Thailand. And I've actually had, some people, some subscribers to the channel ask me if I knew of other countries that were less targeted than the U.S. I can't really say that I know specifically. Oh, interesting. I could see that con artist, because he's just speaking the truth. He's such a likable guy too. Um, but the targeted couple, Tivon and Hope. Oh, I got their book here. Rivers. They're in Morocco. They moved to Morocco. Does anybody have any idea of what the targeting is like in Africa? So all these countries are in on it. I mean, this is just horrible. I mean, this has been so carefully orchestrated over a very long period of time, like right under our noses. I mean, how do these people sleep at night? I mean, the reason I ask about Africa is there are some, TikTokers that are filming there, and it just seems like even though the people don't have like a lot, they always seem so happy and joyful. Yeah, yeah, that's a good point about the food and survival. It's certainly not our country. Our food supply is horrible. I mean, they're just trying to starve us out here too. I mean, cows just fart too much. They want to get rid of the cows. They want to get rid of the chickens. They just want to get rid of the pigs. I don't know. Yeah. Well, don't you find it interesting that, ugh, yeah, Monsanto, yeah, horrible. I think Monsanto even changed its name because because when people would hear Monsanto, it just had a negative connotation. I read that just recently that they're going under another name. But think about this for a minute. Edward Snowden, where is he living? He's living in Russia. I mean, he seems to be doing okay there. Now, isn't it ironic? Yeah, he's in Russia. I mean, if he were to ever come back to the U.S., they'd probably kill him. And he's been in Russia for a long time now. Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, at this stage of my life, like I I can't move to another country. Oh well, that's good to know. Brian's traveled a lot. He's been everywhere. Well, he should have stayed there then. If his targeting was minimal, he should have stayed there. I mean, the last I saw, he was in New Jersey. Oh, okay, gotcha. I thought he won a lawsuit. He filed several lawsuits in different countries, and I thought I saw that he won $750,000 on one. And another targeted person sent me the lawsuit. I don't know what I did with it. I couldn't find it when I went to look for it again. But he's a single guy. He's not married. Doesn't have children. So he could probably go on, make his money stretch. It was a fake lawsuit. Really? Oh, well, that's depressing. Yeah, actually, I saw that he filed two lawsuits in two different countries or something. They were on I don't know if it was BitChute or Rumble. I saw it. Really? Well, that's interesting. Well, meanwhile, I wonder if they caught the let's see if I can find it here. This manhunt. We actually have an active shooter here in Kentucky. I think the guy was targeted. He's 32 years old, former military. He just decided he was going to go out on the highway at a high level and just start shooting at people. He shot 5 people on I-75 in Kentucky, which is like 45 minutes from where I live. And he ran out on foot. And evidently the FBI knew about him. They had him under a radar for some terror threats against his family or whatever. And then the Kentucky State Police are in the air looking for him. And this is actually 2 hours ago before I got onto the live stream. That's what I was watching. I was going to get a dog. See, my problem here is that I have cats and chickens, and unless you get a puppy, to bring a dog in, dogs like to chase cats and chickens, and they like to eat them and kill them. So I have to get, like, if I were to get a dog, I'd have to get a puppy, and I have to train it, and I just don't have time. I just don't have time. I might get a dog, like, when I finally get out of here, sell this place. I might consider getting a dog, but again, I have to get a puppy. I can't get like a grown dog. Oh, that's so interesting. A con artist about how the perps are foreigners. That's so interesting. Well, we've got a problem here in the United States. We've got a big problem. Everybody calls them like immigrants. They're not immigrants, guys. They're invaders. We've got invaders here. We have the invaders in Chicago and in Aurora, Colorado. And now we've got an active shooter in Kentucky. So, but anyway, thank everybody for joining in the chat. I really appreciate all you guys and girls. Thank you so much. And for all the very interesting information, if you want to email me, it's alternativehomesteading@gmail.com. And, thank everybody. I hope you all have a good night. And I'm going to sign off for now. I really want to listen to the news and see if they found this shooter guy. New Mexico, 19? 19? That's exactly what happened here. But he wouldn't let anyone hurt his sister. Oh, you're very welcome. You're very welcome. Oh, you're so welcome. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm going to sign off for now, guys.